Good evening, my fellow Singaporeans and residents of Jalan Besar GRC. Please allow me to speak first in Malay and then in English. Assalamualaikum, para penduduk Jalan Besar GRC. Nama saya Muhammad Fairuz dan saya calon parti pekerja untuk East Coast GRC. Saya sudah berumah tangga dan mempunyai 3 orang anak. Saya memiliki ijazah sarjana muda sastra dengan kepujian dalam bidang sejarah dan sarjana sastra dalam bidang pengajian Asia Tenggara, kedua-duanya dari Universiti Nasional Singapura. Saya baru sahaja meletak jawatan sebagai pustakawan bersekutu di Perpustakaan Negara untuk bertanding di pilihan raya ini sebagai calon parti pekerja untuk GRC East Coast. Sebelum menyertai Perpustakaan Negara, saya bekerja sebagai eksekutif pendidikan kanan di Pusat Teroka Singapura dan pensyarah sambilan di Sekolah Sains Sosial UNISIM. Perjalanan politik saya bermula pada tahun 2001. Pada tahun itu, saya sepatutnya berpeluang menggunakan hak saya untuk mengundi untuk buat kali pertama. Malangnya, di pilihan raya umum 2001, GRC yang saya menetap iaitu GRC East Coast telah dimenangi oleh PAP melalui kemenangan tanpa bertanding. Saya amat kecewa kerana tidak dapat menggunakan hak saya untuk mengundi. Peristiwa itu menyedarkan saya bahawa kita memerlukan sebuah parti pembangkang yang berprestasi yang dapat memberikan rakyat Singapura pilihan untuk menentukan masa depan mereka. Ia juga menyedarkan saya bahawa sebuah parti politik hanya boleh benar-benar meningkatkan prestasinya jika rakyat Singapura bersedia untuk menjadi ahli-ahli parti dan berdiri sebagai calon parti itu pada pilihan raya umum. Malangnya, kita hidup dalam iklim politik yang tidak seimbang dan didominasi oleh suara PAP. Oleh kerana Parlimen Singapura didominasi oleh PAP, dasar-dasar yang tidak popular telah digubal tanpa penelitian yang lebih terperinci. Lihat sahaja bagaimana kertas putih populasi telah disahkan di Parlimen. Walaupun rakyat Singapura dan kesemua ahli Parlimen Parti Pekerja telah menyuarakan kebimbangan mereka dengan kertas putih itu, ia masih disahkan. Kenapa ia disahkan? Kerana ahli Parlimen PAP telah mengesahkannya. Slogan Parti Pekerja pada pilihan raya ini adalah memperkasakan masa depan anda. Slogan ini merangkumi mesej utama parti kita, yakni jika anda mengundi lebih banyak calon parti pekerja ke Parlimen, PAP akan didorong untuk menyelaraskan wawasannya untuk Singapura dengan pandangan sebenar rakyat Singapura. Saudara-saudari sekalian, andalah yang menentukan masa depan anda, masa depan anak-anak anda, masa depan masyarakat anda dan masa depan Singapura. Undi anda akan menentukan sekiranya Singapura akan mempunyai sebuah parti pembangkang yang rasional dan bertanggungjawab yang akan dapat memperkasakan suara anda di Parlimen. Undilah Parti Pekerja, memperkasakan masa depan anda. I will now speak in English. My name is Muhammad Fairuz. I am the Workers' Party candidate for East Coast GRC. As this is my first rally speech, let me tell you a bit about myself. I am married and the father of 3 young children. I have an honours degree majoring in history and a master's degree majoring in Southeast Asian Studies, both from the National University of Singapore. I was, until recently, an associate librarian at the National Library. I have since left the National Library to contest in these elections as the Workers' Party candidate for East Coast GRC. Prior to joining the library, I was a senior education executive at the Singapore Discovery Centre and a part-time lecturer at UNISIM. My political journey has several milestones. The first milestone was in 2001. That year was supposed to be the year that I finally got the chance to exercise my right to vote. Unfortunately, during the 2001 general elections, East Coast GLC, where I live, had a walkover and PAP won the GLC without contest. I was very frustrated because I could not exercise my right to vote. It dawned upon me then that we need a strong and credible opposition party who will be able to give all Singaporeans a genuine choice. Such a choice is possible only if Singaporeans support an opposition party that is able to provide constructive policies and suggestions on how we can better tackle the many challenges that Singapore will be facing. My fellow Singaporeans, the Workers' Party is the strong and credible opposition party that Singapore needs. Our success is all because of you. It is only with your support that the Workers' Party has been able to win in Hougang, Aljunied and Punggol East. I hope that you will continue to support us so that we can keep growing to one day become a political party that is strong enough to give all Singaporeans a real choice by contesting any parliamentary seat where a real voice for the people is needed. My experience in 2001 has also made me realize that supporting an opposition party is actually not enough. A political party can only truly grow in strength if Singaporeans are willing to become members of the party and to ultimately stand as the party's candidates at the general election. Unfortunately, Singapore is currently very imbalanced politically and overwhelmingly dominated by the voice of the PAP. We live in a Singapore where the PAP's dominance in the parliament has allowed it to easily push through unpopular policies without these policies being properly and thoroughly deliberated. Just take a look at how the population white paper was endorsed. In spite of all the concerns expressed publicly by Singaporeans and by all our 9 Workers' Party MPs in Parliament, the population paper was still endorsed. How did it get endorsed? Because the PAP MPs voted for it. We are also living in a Singapore where involvement in opposition politics is sometimes frowned upon. Over the years, I have had friends, colleagues, and family members who have advised me not to be involved in opposition politics. Many of them have expressed genuine concern over the possible consequences of being involved. Many have also advised me that I should just focus on my career and my family. For a time, I followed their advice. Even though I became a member of the Workers' Party in 2004, I reminded myself that I should just focus on my career and my family. But all of that changed in 2008, the second milestone in my political journey. When my first child was born, I asked myself, what kind of Singapore will I be giving to my children? My family and career are rooted in Singapore. Where this country is headed will not only affect me, but my children as well. Do we really want a Singapore that continues to be dominated by the voice of the PAP? Or do we want a Singapore that allows many voices, that allows your voices to be heard? We all want a better future for ourselves, for our children, and for Singapore. Whenever I look at my 3 young children, I realize that our future, our children's future, and Singapore's future can and must be better. But it can only be better if and only if we are willing to make it better. We need to take charge of our future. This election, the Workers' Party slogan is Empower Your Future. This slogan captures the Workers' Party belief that the average Singaporean must speak up against an entrenched PAP power structure that has muted our voices. With that leverage, you will make the PAP realign its vision for Singapore with the real views of Singaporeans. We need you to vote more of us into the parliament so that we can look into the eyes of our children with hope rather than worry. My fellow Singaporeans, you determine your future, your children's future, and Singapore's future. Your vote will decide if Singapore will have a strong and responsible opposition who is able to be your voice in parliament. Your vote will decide if Singapore will have a well-balanced parliament that will help you to take charge of your future. Vote the Workers' Party. Empower your future.